Dr. Elias Morgan had spent most of his life studying stars and alien worlds, but nothing could have prepared him for the moment that changed everything. He was sitting alone in his research station, sipping lukewarm coffee and reviewing data from distant galaxies when a faint shimmer in the doorway caught his attention. At first he thought it was a trick of the light, a reflection of the nearby nebula on the station's glass. But as he looked closer, he realized it was not a trick. A girl was standing there, calm and composed, and behind her was an alien being, tall and graceful, with skin that seemed to ripple like liquid silver. The sight made Elias's heart skip a beat. He had encountered strange signals and alien transmissions, but he had never actually met one in person. And now, here they were, stepping into his world as if they belonged there. The girl looked at him with a quiet intensity that made him uneasy. She seemed no more than 10 or 11 years old, but there was something about her presence that demanded attention. Her hair was black and glossy, falling in waves around her shoulders, and her eyes glowed faintly, reflecting the starlight outside. Elias noticed how she held herself with an unusual confidence for a child. The alien behind her, who introduced herself as Kailara, had a presence that was even more extraordinary. She was tall and elegant, moving with a fluid grace that humans could barely comprehend. Her skin shimmered faintly, and her eyes were deep, showing wisdom and experience beyond anything Elias had encountered. The girl spoke first, her voice clear and calm. "My name is Lyra," she said, "and this is my mother, Kailara." Elias blinked, unsure whether to speak or just continue observing them. The girl stepped closer, and with a small gesture, Kailara followed. It was as if they had entered his space with quiet authority, and Elias realized that hesitating might seem rude. Gathering his composure, he stood up and offered a cautious greeting. Kailara's voice was melodic and precise. "Dr. Morgan," she said, "we have come because your people are unique. Your creativity, your courage, and your ingenuity are unlike anything in the galaxy. We need your help." Elias felt a chill run down his spine. He had studied alien life forms for decades, but he had never imagined they would come to him personally, asking for assistance. Lyra spoke again, her voice small but firm. "Please, sir, we do not have much time. There is danger coming that could destroy more than just my world. I know humans can help us because you always find ways to solve what seems impossible." Elias was stunned. He wanted to ask questions, but the urgency in her tone left little room for doubt. Her gaze met his, unwavering, and for a moment, he could see a depth in her eyes that went far beyond her years. She seemed to carry not just a request but a promise, a responsibility that weighed heavily on him, even though he did not yet understand why. Elias motioned for them to sit, and the three of them gathered in the station's common area. Kailara explained that her world was under threat from a mysterious force that consumed stars and destabilized entire systems. It was an enemy that their advanced technology could not defeat alone. She spoke of cosmic parasites, intelligent and relentless, that could spread across galaxies if left unchecked. Humans, Kailara insisted, possessed a combination of courage and creativity that could turn the tide. Elias listened, absorbing every word, feeling both fear and fascination. He realized that he was being asked to step into a role far beyond, a scientist, one that could determine the fate of countless worlds. As Kailara described the threat, Elias noticed Lyra watching him carefully. The girl was quiet, but her expression conveyed intelligence and determination. There was something extraordinary about her, something human eyes might not immediately see. She had an energy, a presence, that suggested she could influence events, in ways even the most advanced technology could not predict. Elias felt a mixture of awe and uncertainty. How could a child have such power, and why had she come to him? After a long silence, Kailara finally said, "Dr. Morgan, we need you to lead a mission to confront this threat. Your people's skills, combined with knowledge from our world, can stop what is coming." Elias hesitated. He was not a soldier or a commander. He was a researcher, a student of the cosmos, not a hero in some galactic war. And yet, as he looked at Lyra, he understood that hesitation was not an option. Her eyes reflected trust, hope, and an unspoken promise that if he refused, the consequences could be devastating. For a long moment, Elias felt the weight of the universe on his shoulders. He realized that everything he had studied, every calculation, every experiment had led to this moment. He nodded slowly, his voice steady, despite the trembling in his chest. "All right," he said. "I will help you. Tell me everything I need to know." Lyra's lips curved into a small, almost imperceptible smile, and Kalara's expression softened, showing a hint of relief. The alien mother and human scientists sat together, united by a mission that crossed species and worlds. Elias felt the first spark of hope, knowing that the journey ahead would be dangerous, uncertain, and extraordinary. He did not yet understand the full magnitude of what lay before him, but he knew one thing clearly. The universe had just changed, and humanity had a chance to shine in ways he had never imagined. The next morning, the research station felt different. The hum of machinery, the blinking lights, and the quiet rhythm of computers all seemed insignificant compared to the presence of Lyra and her mother. Dr. Elias Morgan had spent years studying alien life forms from a distance, but now he had to confront the reality of working alongside one. Kalara had asked him to lead a mission to stop a threat that could consume entire galaxies, and the weight of that responsibility pressed heavily on him. He walked to the main observation deck, watching the stars swirl outside, feeling both fear and determination. This was not the time to hesitate. Lyra appeared beside him, her small frame moving with surprising confidence. "You are thinking too much," she said softly, her voice calm yet firm. "The universe does not wait for hesitation." Elias was taken aback. The girl's tone was commanding, almost adult-like, but there was no arrogance in her voice. Just certainty. He looked at her, realizing that she carried wisdom beyond her years. She had grown up among a species far more advanced than humans, yet she spoke as though she understood the value of human courage and ingenuity. Kalara joined them, her presence radiating quiet authority. "Elias, we must prepare quickly. Time is short, and the threat will reach your sector sooner than expected. We need to assemble a team, combine human technology with our knowledge, and develop a plan." She spread her long fingers over a holographic display, showing a map of several star systems marked with points of destruction. Stars that had once shone brightly were now dimmed, leaving black voids where nothing remained. Elias felt a shiver run through him. The scale of the threat was unimaginable, yet Kalara spoke calmly, as if certainty alone could conquer it. Over the following days, the station became a hub of activity. Human engineers, scientists, and strategists worked alongside, alien advisors who moved with precision and purpose. Lyra was at the center of it all, absorbing every lesson, every instruction, every piece of data with remarkable speed. She learned how to operate alien technology that even seasoned human scientists struggled to understand. She studied star maps and energy patterns, mastering them in ways that suggested she had an innate connection to the universe itself. Elias watched her closely, marveling at her abilities and her focus. It was clear that she was not an ordinary child. During breaks, Elias tried to learn more about her. "Lyra," he asked gently, "how did you learn so quickly? Humans take years to understand even the basics of alien systems." The girl looked at him thoughtfully. "I have always observed," she said simply, "and I have always wanted to help. My people know that humans are brave in ways we are not. You do not rely only on strength or logic. You imagine, you adapt, and you act when it matters. That is why my mother came to you." Elias felt a surge of pride. Humanity had been underestimated before, but here, in the presence of beings from another world, he realized that humans truly had something special: courage combined with imagination. As the mission plans developed, Elias discovered more about Lyra's abilities. She could sense energy flows in ways humans could not, She seemed to predict how technology would respond, not by calculations, but by instinct. Kalara explained that this was part of her hybrid heritage. Lyra is a bridge between our species, she said. Her mind can harmonize with both human and alien understanding. She sees patterns we cannot. Elias realized that the girl's role was far more important than he had initially thought. Not only could she assist, but she could also guide decisions that might mean life or death for the team in countless worlds. One evening, while reviewing star charts, Elias asked Kalara, "Why humans? Why not another advanced species in your alliance?" Kalara's eyes glimmered softly. Humans are unpredictable, and that unpredictability is their strength. You think outside patterns, find solutions we would never consider. Lyra has witnessed this in your history. She believes, and so do I, that humans can make a difference when courage meets opportunity. Elias was humbled. He had always believed humans could achieve great things, but to hear it acknowledged by an alien species, in such urgent circumstances, made him understand just how vital their role truly was. The first simulation of the mission was intense. Human and alien team members worked together to neutralize a small cluster of energy-consuming parasites. Lyra stood at the control panel, guiding both species with confidence and precision. She pointed out risks and opportunities that others missed, and Elias realized that without her, the team would have struggled to succeed. When the simulation ended successfully, the team cheered, but Elias noticed Lyra remained calm, almost contemplative. She had a seriousness that reminded him that the real danger was still ahead. That night, Elias walked back to the observation deck, looking at the stars. Lyra joined him, silent at first. "Do you understand?" she asked quietly. "Once we go beyond this station, there will be no turning back. It will not be easy, and many will doubt. But humans have something they do not see in themselves. That is why we need you." Elias nodded. Her words sank deep into him. She was right. Humanity's strength was not measured by weapons or technology alone, but by courage, creativity, and the will to act. He had to rise to the challenge. By dawn, the team was ready to depart. Elias stood with Lyra and Kalara, looking at the vastness of space beyond the station. He knew this mission would test everything he thought he knew about life, the universe, and the human spirit. And yet, with Lyra by his side, and the trust of both species, he felt a spark of hope. For the first time in his career, he understood that humans were not just observers of the cosmos, they could shape its future, and the journey was only beginning. The vessel that would carry Elias, Lyra, and the combined human-alien team into deep space was unlike anything Elias had ever seen. Its design was a blend of human engineering and alien technology, sleek and elegant yet strong and resilient. Lights pulsed along its hull in gentle waves, reflecting the rhythm of distant stars. Inside, control panels were filled with unfamiliar symbols and glowing interfaces, but Lyra moved through them effortlessly, touching buttons and sliding her hands over holographic displays as if she had built them herself. Elias watched her with amazement. The girl had a natural command of both worlds, human and alien, and it was becoming clear that she was the key to the mission's success. Training began immediately. The crew needed to learn how to operate the hybrid systems, understand alien navigation patterns, and coordinate strategies for the unpredictable threat that lay ahead. Elias, though a scientist, found himself in a leadership role, organizing schedules, overseeing simulations, and ensuring everyone understood their responsibilities. The aliens were patient teachers, explaining complex concepts with precision and clarity, while the human crew offered creativity and improvisation. The sessions were intense, sometimes lasting for hours, but Lyra never tired. She absorbed information at an astonishing rate, asking questions that often revealed insights even the aliens had not considered. During one training session, Elias noticed her standing apart for a moment, her eyes closed, as if sensing something invisible. He approached her cautiously. "Lyra, what are you doing?" he asked. The girl opened her eyes slowly, a faint glow in them. "I'm feeling the energy around us," she said. It helps me understand how the systems will respond, how the mission should proceed. I can sense patterns, Elias. Patterns no one else can see. Elias stared, unsure whether to be impressed or frightened. The girl's abilities were extraordinary, beyond anything he had expected. He realized that she was not just a participant in the mission, she was a guide, a bridge between the human crew and the alien technology. Kelara watched the interaction with a quiet smile. She has been trained since birth to understand the energy flows of the universe, she explained, but her choice to work with humans is hers alone. She sees your potential, Elias. She believes that your species can achieve what many would consider impossible. Elias felt a surge of pride and responsibility. Humanity had always faced challenges, but now they were facing something that could determine the fate of entire galaxies. The thought was terrifying, yet it also awakened a determination he had never felt before. Humans were capable of remarkable things when courage met opportunity. The first test of their combined skills came sooner than expected. A small cluster of cosmic parasites had been detected moving toward a nearby system. The team launched the vessel, navigating through dense asteroid fields and turbulent gravitational currents. The parasites were unlike anything humans had encountered. They moved with speed, intelligence, and adaptability that made them deadly opponents. Lyra guided the crew, adjusting energy shields and weapon systems with uncanny precision. Elias watched in awe as her instincts allowed the team to avoid collision, neutralize the parasites, and maintain control of the vessel. Without her, the mission could have ended in disaster. During the debrief, Elias reflected on what he had seen. The aliens were impressed by human improvisation, while the humans were learning strategies that only centuries of alien experience could teach. The synergy between the species was remarkable. Elias realized that this collaboration, guided by Lyra's abilities and insight, was humanity at its best. Humans could adapt, think creatively, and face dangers with courage that could not be measured in calculations alone. Lyra had shown him that bravery and intelligence were not just traits, they were tools, and when combined with knowledge and preparation, they could change the course of events. As the team prepared for the journey toward the parasite's hive world, Elias spent time with Lyra in the vessel's observation chamber. The stars stretched endlessly, brilliant and intimidating. "Do you ever feel afraid?" he asked her. The girl looked at him, her expression calm but serious. "Yes," she admitted. "But fear tells us what matters. Courage is not the absence of fear, Elias. It is acting even when the fear is there." Her words struck him deeply. Humanity had often been underestimated for its fragility or impulsiveness, but here was proof that courage was the defining quality of their species. Even a child, Lyra, understood it and embodied it. Over the following days, the team continued their training, combining simulations with real exercises to anticipate the challenges ahead. Elias noted that humans brought creativity, intuition, and flexibility that complemented the aliens' precision, strength, and advanced technology. Together, guided by Lyra, they formed a unit that was stronger than the sum of its parts. He realized that this mission was not just about stopping a threat. It was about showing that humans could rise to challenges that seemed impossible, and that their potential was limited only by their willingness to act. As the vessel approached the outer edges of the threat zone, Elias felt a mix of anxiety and anticipation. The cosmic parasites were closer now, and the mission would soon shift from training to real engagement. Lyra stood at the helm, her small hands steady, her mind focused. Kelara observed from behind, her expression unreadable but filled with quiet pride. Elias knew that the next phase would test everything they had learned, and yet he felt confident. Humans were unpredictable, resourceful, and resilient. With Lyra's guidance, their courage could shine, even in the darkest reaches of space. The vessel moved through space with steady determination, its engines humming softly as it approached the region where the cosmic parasites had been detected. Elias felt a mix of tension and anticipation, knowing that the first encounter with The threat would test not only technology, but the courage and adaptability of the human crew. Lyra stood at the main control console, her eyes glowing faintly as she traced invisible patterns in the energy fields around them. Every movement of the parasites was predicted with her guidance. Every adjustment of shields and navigation calculated with precision. Elias could not help but feel awe at the child's abilities, yet he also realized that even Lyra could not do this alone. The humans had to act, to make decisions in the moment, to respond with creativity that no simulation could fully prepare them for. The first sign of the threat appeared as a dark shimmer against the backdrop of a distant star cluster. The parasites moved with terrifying speed, their shapes shifting like liquid shadows. Elias noticed how they absorbed energy from nearby stars, leaving dim voids where light once shone. The aliens on the team monitored their movements calmly, but even they were impressed by the creature's intelligence. Lyra's voice cut through the tense silence. Adjust the shields to 90 degrees and prepare to redirect the energy bursts. They will test the perimeter first. Her instructions were clear, confident, and precise. The human crew followed, improvising where necessary, and for a moment the vessel felt like a single living organism moving in harmony with the universe. The parasites attacked in waves, testing the ship's defenses. Their speed and unpredictability were unlike anything Elias had anticipated. One wave of energy spikes collided with the vessel's shields, sending tremors through the structure. Crew members scrambled to stabilize systems, while Lyra guided, their hands pointing out the exact moments to redirect energy or adjust trajectories. Elias realized that this was a perfect example of human strength, the ability to think on their feet, to adapt quickly, and to remain calm under pressure. The aliens had knowledge, experience, and advanced technology, but the humans brought something the machines could not replicate: intuition and courage. As the battle continued, Lyra's abilities became even more evident. She could sense weak points in the parasite formations, predicting movements before they happened. With her guidance, the vessel avoided what would have been catastrophic collisions. Elias felt a rush of admiration for the girl and the human crew working alongside her. Humans had faced impossible odds throughout history, and now in the depths of space they were proving that same spirit once again. Their courage was not reckless, it was intelligent, creative, and precise. Every adjustment, every decision, every act of bravery was a testament to humanity's unique qualities. Kailara observed silently, her eyes following every movement. Yet she allowed the humans to take the lead under Lyra's guidance. "They are extraordinary," she whispered to Elias. "Your species has the ability to see solutions that even we cannot. Lyra senses it, and she trusts them because they act with conviction." Elias nodded, feeling the weight of her words. Humanity had always been underestimated by other species, yet here, in a real battle against a threat spanning the stars, humans were proving their worth in ways even advanced civilizations could not ignore. The first wave of parasites was finally neutralized, but it was only a small fraction of the threat. Elias and the crew had a brief moment to catch their breath and repair systems. The vessel's hull had sustained minor damage, but thanks to the combined efforts of humans and aliens, it remained fully functional. Elias walked to Lyra, placing a hand on her small shoulder. "You were amazing," he said. "I don't know what we would have done without you." She shook her head, her expression serious. "We did it together. Humans and aliens, working as one. That is how we survive." Her words resonated deeply with him. The mission was not just about technology or knowledge. It was about trust, collaboration, and the human spirit. As they moved deeper into the parasite cluster, the challenges grew more intense. The creatures adapted quickly, changing forms and tactics with each wave. The human crew responded with creativity, inventing new strategies in the moment, while Lyra and Kailara provided guidance and insight. Elias realized that this was humanity's greatest strength, the ability to combine logic with imagination, to act decisively even when the outcome was uncertain. He felt a sense of pride unlike any he had known before. Humans were not just participants in this battle. They were leaders, innovators, and heroes in their own right. Hours passed in a blur of strategy, energy pulses, and quick thinking. Finally, the team reached a temporary calm as the last wave of parasites retreated. The vessel floated among dim stars, silent except for the hum of engines and the steady breathing of the crew. Elias looked around at the faces of humans and aliens alike. They were tired, yet their eyes shone with accomplishment and determination. Lyra stood at the helm, small but resolute, her gaze steady and unwavering. Elias realized that the first test had proven something remarkable. Humans, when trusted and guided, could rise to challenges far beyond their own expectations. That night, as the crew rested, Elias remained on the observation deck, staring out at the endless cosmos. The first encounter had been terrifying, yet it had also revealed the extraordinary capabilities of his species. Humans were adaptable, courageous, and creative. With Lyra's guidance, they had not only survived, they had triumphed. He knew that the true challenge still lay ahead at the parasite hive world, but he also knew that humans were capable of achieving what others might call impossible. For the first time, Elias felt a deep certainty. Humanity had a place in the universe, and that place was defined by courage, ingenuity, and heart. The vessel drifted into the outskirts of the hive world, a planet shrouded in dark clouds and a faint, eerie glow from the energy the cosmic parasites were consuming. Elias felt a chill, though the station was climate-controlled. Even with all the simulations, all the training, nothing could truly prepare them for what awaited. The scale of the threat became clear as the planet's surface appeared on the displays. Billions of parasites moving like a living storm, devouring energy, leaving black voids in place of light. Elias's breath caught as he realized the full magnitude of the mission. The hive world was unlike anything humans had imagined. It was a place of chaos and danger, yet Elias also felt the spark of determination. They had come this far and there was no turning back. Lyra stood at the control console, her small hands moving with confidence. "We need to synchronize human tactics with alien strategies," she said, her voice steady. "We cannot rely on one method alone. The hive is too strong for that. We must act together." Lyra nodded, her gaze focused on the swirling mass below. "Elias," she said softly, "your people's creativity will be the key. We can provide knowledge and strength, but humans must take initiative where strategy alone cannot succeed." Elias felt the weight of her words, but also the encouragement. Humans were being counted on not for their sheer power, but for their unique ability to adapt, think quickly, and innovate under pressure. The first step was a careful descent. The vessel navigated through turbulent energy currents, with parasites attacking in unpredictable bursts. Shields flared, lights flickered, and the crew worked in unison, guided by Lyra's instincts and the alien's knowledge. Elias gave instructions, coordinated movements, and made split-second decisions. It was exhausting, but he felt a profound sense of pride. Humans were rising to the challenge, not just reacting, but thinking creatively, turning dangerous situations into opportunities to advance. Once closer to the hive, the team observed the core of the parasite's energy network. It was a dense mass, almost alive, pulsing and shifting with intelligence. Lyra explained that destroying this core would disable the parasite's ability to spread, but it required precise timing and coordination. Elias knew that a single mistake could cost them everything. He turned to Lyra. "Can you guide us through this?" he asked. She nodded, her eyes glowing faintly as she focused on the energy patterns. "I can feel the flow. Trust me, and act quickly when I tell you." "We have one chance." Elias felt a surge of confidence. Humans were capable of extraordinary things, especially when guided by insight, intuition, and courage. The final approach began. The crew adjusted the vessel's energy beams, shields, and navigation simultaneously. Parasites attacked in waves, sensing the intrusion, but Elias noticed how the human crew adapted in ways simulations could not predict. They invented new tactics on the spot. redirecting energy bursts, shielding vulnerable areas, and improvising countermeasures. Lyra's guidance amplified their abilities, sensing weaknesses in the hive's network and signaling precisely when to act. For a brief moment, it felt like the vessel itself was alive, responding to the courage, creativity, and unity of its crew. The alien leader of the parasites confronted them through a strange, shifting projection, speaking in tones that vibrated through the ship. "You are insignificant," it hissed. "Your kind cannot alter the course of existence." Elias felt the anger and danger in its voice, but he also felt a surge of determination. Humans had faced threats that others deemed impossible, and this was no different. He took a deep breath and issued commands with calm authority, coordinating humans and aliens alike. Each member of the team acted with precision, creativity, and courage, proving that even the deadliest intelligence could be challenged by the human spirit. Lyra guided the final maneuver. "Now focus all energy into the disruption beam. Align with me," she instructed. The humans synchronized their systems with alien technology, trusting Lyra's instincts. A pulse of light surged outward, striking the hive's core. The energy network faltered, trembled, and began to collapse. Parasites scattered chaotically, losing coordination and strength. Elias felt the tension release, knowing they had succeeded in neutralizing the heart of the threat. The victory was not just technological, it was human courage, ingenuity, and collaboration at its finest. As the hive disintegrated, Kailara approached Elias. "Your people have proven themselves," she said quietly, "not because of strength alone, but because of courage and creativity. Humans are capable of changing the outcome of events when others would hesitate. Lyra trusted your judgment, and it has saved countless worlds." Elias felt pride mixed with humility. He looked at Lyra, who smiled faintly, her small hands resting on the console. "We did it together," she said softly. "Humans and aliens side by side. That is how the universe is protected." Elias realized that this mission had proven more than victory over a threat. It had shown the true value of humanity. The hope, ability to adapt, to imagine, to act with courage even in the face of the impossible. The hive world was neutralized, but the journey was far from over. Humans had earned their place among allies, proving that even a species often underestimated could rise to cosmic challenges. Elias felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity had a role to play in the universe, and their courage, creativity, and determination could shine even in the darkest corners of space. The victory over the hive world brought a calm that was almost surreal. The vessel floated among dim stars, the hum of engines and soft glow of control panels filling the quiet space. Elias walked slowly through the corridors, observing the crew. Humans and aliens alike moved with careful precision, repairing minor damages and recalibrating systems. Yet there was a sense of pride and relief in their faces. The threat had been immense, nearly unimaginable, but they had survived, and more than that, they had succeeded. Elias felt the weight of it all settle in his chest. Humanity had proven something vital. They were not merely observers in the cosmos, but active participants capable of achieving what others might call impossible. Lyra stood quietly by the observation window, gazing at the stars beyond. She had been at the heart of the mission, guiding both species with her instincts and insight, but she remained humble. Elias approached her. "You were incredible," he said softly. "I've never seen anything like it." Lyra turned to him, her eyes glowing faintly with calm determination. "We did it together," she replied. "Humans have courage and creativity that even the oldest species cannot match. That is why we succeeded. It was not only my guidance, it was your actions, your choices, your bravery that made the difference." Elias felt a surge of respect and admiration. Humans were capable of remarkable things when they trusted themselves, and when others trusted them. Kailara joined them, her expression both proud and serene. "Elias," she said, "your species has a strength that we underestimated. You do not rely solely on technology or logic. You act with imagination, courage, and moral insight. These qualities, combined with our knowledge, have saved countless worlds. Lyra recognized it, and so did we. Humans are extraordinary. Elias nodded, humbled by her words. He had always believed in the potential of humanity, but to hear it, recognized by an alien civilization, validated what he had long known in his heart. Humans had the power to rise above the impossible. The crew gathered in the central chamber to debrief and celebrate quietly. The aliens shared observations about the parasite's behavior and the efficiency of human problem-solving. Humans shared insights from their own improvisations, creative solutions that had turned critical moments into victories. Elias felt a deep sense of unity in the room. Species that had once been strangers, separated by light years and countless differences, were now collaborators, friends, and allies. This was more than a mission. It was a demonstration of what could happen when humans worked alongside others with trust and courage. As the repairs were completed and systems stabilized, Elias took a moment to reflect. He thought of the countless humans who had faced challenges through history, individuals who had acted despite fear and uncertainty. This mission, though cosmic in scale, was a continuation of that legacy. Human bravery, creativity, and resilience had once again proven indispensable. He felt pride, not in himself alone, but in his species. Humans could rise to challenges that even the most advanced civilizations might doubt. Lyra approached him, holding a small device that seemed to hum with energy. "This is from my mother," she said. "It records our mission and the strategies that worked. She wants humans to learn from this, to be prepared if such threats appear again. You were brave, Elias, and your crew was brave. But the universe is vast and threats will continue. Humans must be ready, and you are proof that readiness comes from courage and creativity." Elias accepted the device with gratitude. It was a reminder that humanity's journey was ongoing, that every victory was a lesson, and that humans had a role to play far beyond their own world. That evening, as the vessel moved away from the hive world, Elias stood with Lyra and Kailara in the observation deck, watching the stars stretch endlessly before them. The silence was comforting, yet charged with potential. "Do you think humanity will be ready for what comes next?" Elias asked quietly. Lyra smiled faintly. "Humans will always face fear," she said, "but your species acts when it matters. That is why humans are special. You adapt, you create, you trust your instincts. You shine where others hesitate." Elias felt a sense of hope that he had never felt before. The universe was vast and unpredictable, but humanity had something priceless: courage, intelligence, and heart. As the alien mother and daughter prepared to depart, Elias felt a mixture of sadness and pride. He had formed a bond with beings from another world, yet he also recognized the significance of what had been achieved. The victory was not just over a cosmic threat. It was proof that humans could rise to challenges that seemed impossible. It was proof that the human spirit, guided by courage and imagination, could shape the course of events across the stars. Elias realized that the story of humanity was only beginning, and that their potential was limitless. With allies like Kailara and guidance from extraordinary beings like Lyra, humans were no longer merely inhabitants of a single world. They were a force that could influence the galaxy itself. The vessel floated silently through space as the stars stretched endlessly around them. The hive world was behind them, its dark clouds dissipating into the distance. Elias stood near the observation deck, reflecting on everything that had happened. The mission had been more than a battle. It had been a test of courage, creativity, and trust. Humans had proven their worth not through brute strength or advanced technology, but through determination, ingenuity, and the willingness to act when others might hesitate. Every human on the crew had contributed, and under Lyra's guidance they had achieved something extraordinary. Lyra approached Elias, her small frame illuminated by the soft glow of the observation deck. Her eyes, calm and steady, seemed to see beyond the stars. "Elias," she said quietly, "there is something I want to ask you." He turned to her, curiosity mixing with a hint of apprehension. She continued, I want you to continue working with humans and aliens, not just for one mission, but to prepare for the challenges that will come in the future. We need a network of knowledge, courage, and collaboration across species. I want you to lead it." Elias felt a surprise that left him momentarily speechless. He had expected gratitude, perhaps relief, but this request was something else entirely. It was a call to responsibility on a scale he had never imagined. Kalara stepped closer, her expression serene and proud. "Your species has proven itself, Elias," she said. "Humans are capable of actions that can change the course of events in ways we cannot always foresee. Lyra sees this, and she believes that your leadership can help build bridges between worlds. You understand humans, and humans understand you. That understanding is vital for the future." Elias listened, absorbing the weight of her words. It was more than a mission. It was the beginning of something larger. Humanity's role in the galaxy was being defined, not by conquest or dominance, but by courage, intelligence, and collaboration. Elias looked at Lyra, realizing the depth of her request. She was small, yet her vision and wisdom were immense. She trusted humanity, not blindly, but because she had seen their courage and creativity firsthand, and now she was entrusting him, a human with a responsibility that could shape the future of countless worlds. The enormity of the moment filled him with a mix of fear and determination, yet he also felt pride. Humans had proven that they were more than observers. They could act, lead, and inspire. "I accept," Elias said finally, his voice steady. "I will do it. Humans and aliens will work together, and we will prepare for whatever challenges come next." Lyra's eyes brightened and a small smile appeared on her face. Kalara nodded approvingly. "This is the beginning of a new era," she said softly. "One where humans are recognized not only for their courage, but for their ability to inspire and unite. The galaxy is vast, and your species has a vital role to play." Elias felt the truth of her words resonate deeply. In the days that followed, Elias began organizing a network for collaboration. Human and alien scientists, engineers, strategists, and explorers joined forces, sharing knowledge and preparing for possible threats. Lyra continued to guide him, offering insights that combined her hybrid understanding of both species. Together, they created a framework for cooperation, trust, and innovation that had never existed before. Elias marveled at how humans adapted so quickly, their creativity turning theoretical ideas into practical solutions. The work was challenging, but it also showed the best of humanity, the willingness to face the unknown, to learn, and to act decisively. Elias reflected on the lessons of the mission. Humans had survived the impossible because they were flexible, brave, and imaginative. They had complemented alien knowledge with intuition, empathy, and insight. Lyra had guided them, but it was human courage and quick thinking that had made success possible. Elias realized that the true value of humanity lay not in strength or technology, but in their ability to rise to challenges, to adapt, and to inspire others to do the same. When the time came for Lyra and Kalara to return to their homeworld, Elias felt a sense of both sadness and hope. He had formed a bond with beings from another species, yet he knew the future depended on what humans would do next. Lyra approached him one last time. "Remember," she said, "humans shine when they act with courage and creativity. Never forget that. And now you have the chance to help others see it too." Elias nodded, understanding that her words were both encouragement and a challenge. He had been given a responsibility that would shape the future, and he would rise to it. As the alien vessel disappeared into the vastness of space, Elias felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity had been tested and proven itself. Their courage, intelligence, and creativity had saved countless lives and shown that they could face challenges on a cosmic scale. The mission was over, but the journey was just beginning. With allies, across species, and a network for collaboration, humans were no longer just inhabitants of Earth. They were leaders, innovators, and a force capable of shaping the galaxy. Elias knew that the future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: humanity would rise to meet it, shining brightly in the vast universe. And as he gazed at the stars stretching endlessly before him, Elias understood that the human spirit, guided by courage, imagination, and determination, could illuminate even the darkest corners of the cosmos. Lyra's request had been surprising, but it had also been a promise. Humans had a role, and they would never be overlooked again. The galaxy had recognized them, and their story was only beginning.